Escape from Tarkov has absolutely broken keys and absolutely terrible keys, but today we're taking a journey into one of the most overpowered keys of them all. And of course, we're starting on streets. A big thank you to our sponsor, War Thunder, for today's video, and let's jump in to how you can get your hands on the key, how you can farm it, and whether or not it's even worth your time. Of course, we are talking about the rusted key. This is one of the most difficult keys to get your hands on, but there's an efficient way to farm it, which of course is located at the shopping mall on streets. And of course you just run directly straight through the building. You're going to make your way past the elevators directly over here, and you will find it on this little keyboard right here. There are two spawns, one over to the right of or to the left of the hammer, and one up in this corner over here. Sometimes you can get two spawns of the actual key itself, but this is where you're going to want to actually take a look. Now, for those of you wondering as to how you can farm it, obviously a lot of the times you are not going to find the key. It roughly has a significantly decreased spawn rate over a lot of the other keys. It is not a guaranteed spawn like you would see with a relaxation room, but what we can do, if you play on a scav, this is probably what I'd recommend, because the scav is actually a really good way to kind of transit between two different areas. And the way we're doing that is we're running directly down over here. We're going to take a left, and we are making our way over to this building right here. Now you do have to be careful because the boss can spawn in the building, but of course that depends on whether it's a guaranteed spawn or not. And we are making our way over to the transit, which is located over by this fence. So we just sprint there as fast as possible if the key isn't there, and we can make our way. Just hold F and you'll be able to interact, and we can exit this map. And we're transiting to ground zero. There's a reason for that, and that is because the spawn on ground zero always puts you right next to where you need to be. I'll join you when we actually load into ground zero, so you get an idea as to where you need to go to come back to streets to be able to farm this key. Of course, there's a reason why I wanted to make this video. It's because it can earn you an absolute ton of money, even enough money that you would theoretically be able to buy a tank. And whilst you can't buy a tank, today's sponsor War Thunder has you covered with the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it won't cost you a thing. Available on PC, console and mobile. There are over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters and ships spread over 10 major nations. Take out your favourite vehicles ranging from those made in the 1920s to the modern day fighter jets and main battle tanks. The intense combat, incredibly detailed and realistic vehicles brought to life with great graphics and authentic sound effects make it seem like you're really at the helm of the most fearsome machines of our time. And you can join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in epic arcade or simulator style PvP battles. The wealth of high quality content and immersive gameplay make it a no-brainer. Click the link in the description or pin comment and claim your limited time bonuses for PC or console right now, including a 7-day rental of the M4A2, P40E1, their unique skins and 10 backups for both vehicles, an Eagle of Valor decoration, 100,000 silver, 50% XP and silver booster, and 7 days of premium. So when we make our way onto ground zero, this is the extract location on ground zero. So you just need to make your way over here. Often you will actually spawn, if you're on a scav, directly here, and then you can just run directly over here. If you spawn on PMC, they can vary, but most of the time you do spawn over there. So you just need to be a bit careful, and you just go up to behind the car. So usually I will make sure I put the cars in between me and anyone else that could potentially hit me. And then we run around the back and we can lie down right over here. And we just crawl up behind this sandbag. And then we just hit the transit and we can move over to streets again. Right, so we have spawned back into streets, and what we can do is actually got a lucky spawn where we can go and check the actual rusted key again. So we just run into the left. You want to be careful from across the street. Run in and we check for the key. No key this time, but that's absolutely fine. But what I can do is, because we've actually got a key, I can actually show you what the room is all about and whether or not it is as good as it once was. It was the most overpowered key for the longest period of time on Escape from Tarkov's PVE mode. But what actually spawns in there? What are the spawns actually like? And should you be wasting your time even doing this run in the first place? Now, the key location is over by check 13 in the relaxation room and that area of the map. So we just take a little detour through the kitchen and we make our way through the courtyard. You want to be careful because there can be PMCs around here. And it's this door that we're looking for. So essentially we run directly over here. Open up the door. Go over to this staircase right here. And we can make our way up these stairs. Jump over all of this rubbish that's on the staircase. Now a lot of the time this rubbish is not usually climb overable. But because we are going to the room, this is the rusted room key. And so this door is where the profit was made, where you can find an insane amount of marked room keys. And so we can just open it up. We have the rusted key. It's a 1 out of 1 use. You cannot put it in your back. So when you do find it in a raid, you can't put it in any cases. You can't put it in your pouch. And so if you are running it, I'd highly recommend, if you play on a scav, to just open it up. But we make our way through this area over here. There is no loot that's actually lying around. You make your way through here, you open up this door, and on the floor and on all of these kind of areas, you will find a ton of keys and rare spawns. So you basically want to check all over these desks. And also on the windowsills, you'll find other things. So we can get the Lexos key there. We've got an ophthalmoscope. And then all over the floor, you also want to check as well. So what I usually do, in order to make it easier, you are going to want to have a flashlight. And essentially, you can see quite easily what's actually on the floor when you've got a flashlight. So you can see here, we have got a key here, key here, key here, key here, and something else on the floor over there. So that makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes it is hard to see the marked rooms because they're brown. They can kind of get stuck in with everything. And so you can see here another key, and we've got another key. It's the relaxation room key. And anything else actually lying around? Let's drop to the floor, and you can see some pliers over there. So in terms of the key, is it worth your time anymore? Is it worth grabbing the relaxation room instead and just running that? It is all down to your own personal opinion. Now, what are the spawns for the marked room keys like? Because previously I was finding maybe 3 marked room keys in every single room. The ultimate thing is now that is not the case. You are not going to be finding 3 marked room keys in the rusted key room. It has definitely been nerfed. But what you can do is find 1 marked room key. We are playing on a training server just because it's easier to showcase where we're going. And so loot spawns aren't the exact same. However, you can see there are a ton of key spawns, and the likelihood of you getting a marked room key is really high when you do come into the room. So usually you do find at least 1 marked room key worth anywhere from 10 million to 20 million, depending on which one you get. And so is it worth farming? How long does it actually take you to get the key in the first place? It is about 1 in every 10 raids probably if I'm playing on a scav. And so it is a lot of running to and fro. And if you break it down into cost per raid, what you're actually getting for the amount of time that you're spending in the raids, etc., to actually get the key itself, to open it up and have a chance at getting yourself a marked room key, you're probably making anywhere from about 1 million rubles per raid. And of course, you can combine this with the relaxation room key run, opening it up, taking relaxation room keys with you and just opening up the door before going to the transit, taking money with you in a PMC, putting it in your back, and then you can transfer all of the items that you get from relaxation room, and that way you're making money whilst also having the chance of getting yourself a marked room key. This is one of the best runs. I'm going to showcase an exact run in a video coming soon, but that is the relaxation room. Hopefully that showcases what it's all about. It is no no longer the best key in the game anymore, even if I would have loved to say it was. And once again, be sure to check out War Thunder and claim the amazing bonuses offered today using the links in the description and pin comment on this video and get involved in the action and immersion yourself.